Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient.
What is going on, crypto fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Nightcap. And we're doing this every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I don't do this alone. I got my guy, the man, the myth, the legend, one of the most busiest guys in crypto, FD White. What's up, my guy?
Man, I can't complain, man. How you feeling, man? We had a nice little bounce today, man. I'm feeling pretty good today, man. We wasn't too bearish. I thought we was going to 48K today, but then we turned around.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man. I play the inverse influencer sometimes, man. People get bearish. Everybody's kind of singing to the same music. But right now, like I said, there's a trend line. There's a channel that I've been watching, and till it breaks it, and like we get a close on the weekly, I'm not gonna freak out yet. I'm not. And so, I'm gonna stick with that. And trend is your friend till the end. But what about you, man? You in any trades? I know you guys were doing the trade show and all that stuff. I think, was that yesterday or today? I
Yep.
was sleeping.
Yesterday we do it every Tuesday and
Okay.
Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time, over on Piper Academy right here. So
Yeah.
we'll be back tomorrow with a bunch of trade setups. Hopefully we can stay bullish or around this area and let some altcoins get some love, because it was pretty much a Bitcoin led rally today. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some more things.
Yeah. Bitcoin holding strong, baby, holding strong. It's retesting some resistance. It looks like it wants to make a move, but we will see. Let's get over to the chat. Let's see who we got in here. It is blowing up already. So you guys ditched us yesterday for Trump. I know, it's okay. It's all right. It was kind of a small showing for Billy Goat Tales yesterday, and you guys missed out. So go back and check out the space because Amy Lives Crypto was on it. So definitely a good one to catch. So looking at the chat here, we got Andy Rock Crypto. He said, let's smash that like button. A little bit backwards, but he got it. Eric Ballin Wallin, what's up, my dude? How you doing? Hope all is well. Mark Dutch said he shouldn't be awake, but you know what? Hey, you're in the right place, baby. All right, Amy Lives Crypto, Orange Hearts, as always. How are you? Hope all is well. Go check her channel out. She is part of the family. Username, Sharks with freaking laser beams. Yeah, I know you know that we know. All right, Alexander G, the best mind in the house. How are you doing? And let's see, who else do we got? Heart with a yo. And there it is. Username already talking about those laser beams. Army Piper's in the house. He said, let's get it. How you doing, Pipe? Hope all is well with you as well. French Toaster, hola, my friend. FD White in the chat, of course. And who else? Caffeinated Crypto. How you doing, man? Let's see. Dave P's in the house. Wix Fine. Oh, correction. Wix Wife Fine 89. You know I got a rhyme. And then we got Mooksy. Mooksy? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. What's up? I haven't seen you in the chat recently, so hope all is well. Thanks for joining, man. Or lady. Let me know. All right. Keeping it going. We got Clay the Great Hootie Hoo. What's up, my dude? And then that about wraps it up. All right, cool. Oh, all set. I almost missed all set. What's up?
Did we get Indie Rock?
Yeah. He was the
Indie
first
Rock
one.
is in the house.
I think he was the first one, yeah.
Mark Dutch said, can you turn me up just a tad bit, TradeFly, on your end?
Yeah, of course. I can do that. You guys let me know. I turn them up a couple decibels. If it still sounds weak, just let me know and I'll adjust it some more. Whoa, Caffeinated Crypto coming out swinging. My dude gifted one Piper Academy membership. And guess who it goes to? Indie Rock Crypto. So he'll be around. He'll be in the Discord for sure. Yeah. So, all right, right on. All right, so guys, you're gonna have to bear with me just a little bit today, all right? Because I have a new setup. I am trying something a little bit different. What I caught was myself looking to the left quite a bit during the show, and that was because I that's where I had everything kind of on the side with the chat and all that. So kind of adjusting some things. Hopefully, this will make me more present for the camera here. And Caffeinated Crypto just slinging out Piper Academy memberships like it is nothing. Thank you again. And that one goes to Mark Dutch. So congratulations. Mark is definitely a friend of the channel. And let's see here. Tio Peepas. What up, TradeFly and FD? What's up? How you doing, man? Oh man, I didn't think about cut it off yet. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, sweet. So first thing we got up is going to be the news, and let's get into it. Here we go. Now, I know you guys talked about this on the morning show, definitely, but US inflation falls to 2.5% in August 2024. So that is actually lower than expectations, should theoretically be bullish, right? That's what you would think. And we did get a little bit of movement, upside movement today with Bitcoin as well as some of the stocks as well. I think Nvidia had a nice little move to the upside. So, it's good, but the thing is, like when I was thinking about it today, I was driving, I had a couple hours of driving. I'm like, dang, I said inflation is pretty bad. And even though that number is lower than what it was anticipated to be, that just means that prices are still going up. Like, so when do we start discussing like that number actually is significantly lower and maybe prices actually come down. Like that would be pretty sweet, right? Like I don't know that this is maintainable for the foreseeable future. I think a lot of people are hurting right now. But FD, what do you think, man? What's your thoughts on the inflation numbers? Is it even real?
You know what, man? At this point, I don't even know. I don't know what's real, but I know, as the supply chains and as the things eased up, it should have brought prices down. On top of putting all slashing all this money through the system, we also had supply chain constraints, so it was like a double whammy. So now, with the supply chains being a little bit looser, things are flowing in and out, export and import it in and out a little bit easier. It seemed like prices should start coming down, but they're not. So, it's just shout out to my guy Michael Zuber over at One Rental at a Time. He always tells me that inflation is a feature and not a bug. So it's definitely one of the things that's just embedded in our system and our monetary system to keep the Ponzi going. Once you start getting cheaper prices and over time everything becomes cheaper, the house of cards will crumble. So they can't do that. So what happened was, it was just small by small, by bit by bit by bit, inflation would creep up, creep up, creep up, and then pandemic happened, and then the genie was out of the bottle. So it's just like, it's always going to keep going up as long as we have this type of system, as long as our whole system is based on debt. So it's nothing new. It just went up a little bit faster than they wanted. We probably enhanced it another 5 years, within those 2 years. So it's just something that we got to live with, and this is why we buy assets, and this is why one of the main reasons I'm in crypto.
Yeah. So Piper said that is deflation and it happens in a recession. So would it be weird for me to say bring on the recession? Like I mean, because I want cheaper prices. I don't know about you guys. All right. So next bit of news we got here. Let's get back to the news. UK introduces bill clarifying cryptocurrency as personal property. So that is actually a pretty big deal, right? So we're not talking about securities, we're talking about it actually being personal property, but that has very, very large implications when we're talking about taxes and how we claim those and the transactions for buying and selling and how that actually works. So I'm not as familiar with the tax laws in the UK, so I'm not going to really talk to that. I'm not super spun up on that. But our man at decrypted.tax is definitely spun up on that. So he would be the guy. And I know he does hang out in our Discord sometimes. So if you guys ever got any questions, hit him up and go down to the description. Shill, shill, shill. There you go. Check him out. Get your taxes done. That will be coming around the corner before you know it. So that being said, let's go ahead, bring out Mr. Fudd, sound the siren. You know what's about to go down. All right. It says bullish. Citi predicts Fed will cut interest rates by 1.25%. That's not bullish. That's not bullish. I just want you guys to know, if that is true, that means there is something remarkably wrong. All right. That is a very drastic cut, and that will have big implications. You want to talk about making the market move? That's going to make the market move. And to be honest with you, that is probably going to be pretty negative for the market if that actually plays out. So, I mean, that's my thoughts on it. And I will say that my my mentor here, Piper, has talked about stuff like this before. So, that leaves me a little bit nervous. I'll be honest with you. What about you, FD? How you feeling about that? You think, and one, do you think that's even realistic? And two, if that actually does happen, what do you think the implications are for the market?
Yeah, I don't that don't sound right. Do they
Nah.
mean in September at all at one time, or do they mean like over a span of like a few months? Because if they, we're talking about 0.25. I think 0.25 is pretty much in the concrete right now.
Yeah.
Point 0.5, people would be like, okay, what's really going on? So if you're talking about anything over that, like 1.25, like that would be a cause for market meltdown, and then everybody will sit back and try to figure out what's going on, and then the game will restart. So I think it'll be something like 0.25. I think everybody has that baked into the equation now. So I don't know what they're talking about. Sometimes they try to they have these pieces that come out. These big entities, these banks, these corporations have these pieces coming out to try to flood the market, try to scare the market, because they're degens too, really. So they like to get these things at cheaper prices. They like to get these assets at cheaper prices. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. They need to hire me over there. I can come out with some FUD pieces like that all day.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit of clickbait, but I don't know if they mean all at once or if they mean cumulative. And if you add it all up, right, they're expecting what, four rate cuts, and we're thinking 0.25 or 25 bips or BPS. So 25 times four, right? Now we're talking about just one. So maybe that's what they're talking about. But they didn't really clarify it in the article. So here nor there. Couple late shout outs. Wick 589, what's up, my guy? Redman, how you doing, bro? Hope all is well. Biomex is in the chat. Just want to give you guys some shout outs. Much love to you guys and the Billy Goat Tales team. You guys are awesome. All right. So let's get over to our market pulse. And first thing we got to look at is going to be the economic calendar. Next up is going to be PPI month over month. That's going down tomorrow, and that will be coming out at about 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Ignore the 4:30. That's PST. Yeah, things come out early over here, but the market opens pretty early, which is kind of cool too, so we can catch that. So that being said, if you guys want to get the skinny on it, all the good information, go ahead, tune into the morning show. Piper's going to break that down for you tomorrow. So go ahead and be there at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I always have to struggle with that because now we do this show and I get in the habit of saying 8:30 p.m. All right, over to the Fear and Greed Index. We are sitting at 31, which is fear. Total market cap is over $2 trillion. That's 2.093, and that is down 0.74%. Volume is sitting at 24-hour trading volume is sitting at 87 billion, and that is up 21.1%. So that's a pretty good move for, a day during the week. A lot of times you'll see kind of the end of the week, the end of the day, you'll see, or the beginning of the week, you'll see pretty big moves, and trading volume today was a pretty good one. And I think that was really based on some of that news that we got this morning with all that data. So Bitcoin dominance sitting at 54.1%. That's up 0.24%. And let's go over to the top 10. We're looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, as always, 1 and 2. Bitcoin is currently sitting at $57,816, and that is up 0.32% over 24 hours and down 0.5% over 7 days. So it is catching up, man. It is getting back in the fight, but we are at a key level of resistance, and we'll look at that on the charts. Ethereum is currently sitting at $2,362. I was getting some alerts today saying that it was under 2,300, so that's a nice little recovery for that. So 24-hour trade or percentage move is down 0.73%, and over 7 days it is down 3.91%. All right, let's see who else we got here. We got Solana, not too much to write home about. They're at 134. XRP, always between 50 and 60 cents. It's the new stable coin. Doge is sitting at number 8. That is at 10 cents. So good to see that above 10 cents again. Toncoin, that has pulled back a little bit over 24 hours, but still up 16.98% over 7 days. Tron is rounding out the top 10. It is up 0.45%, and that is currently at about 15 cents and up 2.4%. Cardano at number 11. Let's look at the market cap here. That's at 12.7. So again, still under 13, which is definitely interesting. My pick right here, AVAX, is at 23.5 cents, and that is down 3.98% and up 7.03 over 7 days. All right, caffeinated crypto, just showing all kinds of love here. Man, gifting another Piper Academy membership. Let's see who this one went to. And it went, oh no, hold on. Redman was gifted. Redman was gifted a Piper Academy membership. I know you better be in the Discord. Otherwise, we're gonna have to have a chat, my man. Who else is in the chat? It looks like Alex O Crypto said I just did tummy time with him. It's scary AF. Bro, let's go to the duo cam real quick. So, when my little dude was born, he was 31 weeks. So he was 2 pounds, 10 and a half ounces. Small, super small. And his body thought it should still be inside of the stomach, right? So when he got out, like it naturally would just curl up in this little ball. And I felt like I was holding like a little like rabbit or something. And I had to do the tummy time because he was a preemie, and that was like a big thing for his development. So like you would hold him like under your shirt, and he's sitting in there, and it's like I'm just holding like a little rabbit or something. But that was wild, dude. So talk about being scared. My wife actually, when she was done, she had an emergency C-section and all that. So when she got to hold him for the first time, she was like scared because he was like so little, it was almost unreal. Um, but I'll never forget, man. They brought him back in once he was delivered, and they had this pump because they had to help him breathe because he just wasn't developed yet. And when they were squeezing the pump, I'll never forget, his eyes were just going every time they would squeeze, and they would get all squinty, and they would squeeze again, be like come back. It was like what is it? I just waited till they squeezed. Like got a little quick picture there, man. It was super super cool though. But he is nice and healthy now. So that's sorry, man. It took me down memory lane. I just went off the deep end with that one.
It happens, man. It
Yeah.
happens, man. These kids, man, I had the same thing. Like, but that tummy time, is very key at the beginning to build that bond, build that relationship, because he's gonna have that relationship with his mom. So you want to make sure you get that tummy time so he can build that bond with you too, AOC. So good job.
Dude, Piper, even at that size, your little man was bigger than an adult Alex O. That is rough, dude. Man. All right. Cool. We'll get back to the market pulse here. Squirrel had my ADD moment. Sorry about that. And back to the market pulse. Let's look at the bubbles. Now, this is a mix, right? We've been seeing pretty much unity between, green and red. It's just kind of going back and forth. But today we got a nice little mix here. ADA looking, that is weird. So over the day, it's saying ADA is up 3.5%, but coin market cap did not say that. Yeah, it did. Okay, I'm wrong. All right. ADA is up 3.5%. Ejective is up 4.1%. Fed is up 3.4%. BNB up 4.2%. Haven't talked about that much recently. BCH is at 3.3%. SUI's up 5%. And let's look at some of the losers here. Core is down 4.6%. WIF is down 4.6%. Let's see. Stark, AVAX down 3.9%. SEI is down 3.2%. Pole, which is Matic now, is down 3.1%. So there's some of your big players there. Popcat, there's that for you. That's down 2.4%. Man, I just discovered I can do things when I'm looking straight, even though the screen over there is moving the mouse. All right, learn something new every day. Right on, cool. All right, so let's look at the bubbles here. Let's go over to the liquidation heat map, and you can see it is getting hot on the liquidation heat map. We're on the 3-day chart right now, and you can see up here at about 58.5, it is getting super hot. And then down here, you can see it did clear out some liquidity down. It had a quick little wick down, got underneath of that channel that we were talking about. Looks like some people were trying to play some leverage longs, and then it took off, right? Took off, moved back up. But now you see some liquidity building up around 54.5 in that area. So let's remember those two hot spots. Let's go ahead and call it somewhere around 54. I don't know. We'll start it at about 54.8. 54.8 and then about 58.5. So let's go over to the charts and take a look-see here. All right, over to the chart. We got the Bitcoin up on the 4-hour. So let's look at this. So did have an area of support here at about 52,858. All right, that is where we got that wick off of that area, and that was back on Friday. All right, so that, I think it was kind of doom and gloom going into that. People were kind of concerned, but the thing is, and something I got, this is one of those times where it's like, hey, like you got to zoom out sometimes, and I'm usually pretty good about that being on the daily, but I was at the airport and I got sucked in, right? I got sucked into the 4-hour chart. I didn't make my way out too much. What I should have noticed on the daily is this previous range. All right. So I don't know what you're doing here, but this range right here, I should have been paying attention to that. Now, what I would typically do when I see a range like this where it gets kind of caught up, I would mark the top and the bottom side. All right. Well, we got to bounce off of the top part of that range. So I should have been looking for that, and I should have been looking for some price action off of that. But unfortunately, I got soda strawed. And I want to give a quick shout out to the crypto arborist. He just gave us a $5 super chat. Said mint stake, share on BNB, 2% earned interest, compounded daily. Right on, dude. Let's see. Do your own research. Okay.
I think a lot of people have fallen asleep on BNB, man. I think BNB is still gonna do a good job, and I think it's gonna stand the test of times. I think BNB is definitely gonna be one that's gonna be here for a while. So
Yeah.
shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
I definitely second that.
I appreciate the input, man. You know who's trades that quite a bit is OC guy. He definitely trades on that. I know like when it went down, when what's his damn name? The CEO that had to go to jail.
CZ.
CZ, yeah, there you go. When that happened, I know OC was all over that. I think he had a really nice trade. He took a long position once it pulled back. And so that was kind of what I was mentioning with Tan, right? Kind of a similar situation, kind of. Uh, like they're not really that we know of doing anything too shady. But the CEO was taking a hit, brought the price action down, which was like I think it might get a little bounce here, or at least recover pretty easily. Caffeinated crypto, dude, just crushing it today, man. We appreciate you. He gifted another Piper Academy membership, and this one went to Ada Ace. You know he's in the Discord. He is always posting in that, dude. I'll tell you what, Caffeinated Crypto, you are like batting 1,000 right now. You've gotten somehow, some way, Piper Academy memberships to all the usual suspects, and I'm happy to see the people that are getting it. So that's super cool. All right, sweet. Back to the charts here. All right, looking at the chart.
Somebody said when is CZ coming home? I think he comes home on the 29th. I think he gets out on September 29th, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he's released.
MOOXXC. Yeah, I
I
thought he
think he
was
got
released
released
too, but
already.
then I think he's still locked up. To be completely honest, I'm not. He's either home or he gets out soon. So either one. But I think I'll fact check it while you're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're all good. All good. I thought I read something recently that he got out. Sweet. All right, so that's enough of my spiel about me not zooming out. All right, so we got a nice wick off of that, showing you a little bit of buying pressure in that area. And then what we've been talking about, this trend line right here. All right, that goes back on the channel. So for you that are new, this channel we've been talking about quite a bit, and it has been a significant area of price action. And on the weekly, we have yet to have a close underneath of that trend line since I want to say it was there you go February. All right, so once we broke out in February, I mean we've yet to close underneath of it on the weekly. All right, so looking at that right now, we've reestablished inside of the range, right? We kind of regressed to the mean, we'll say. But now we still have a lot of significant resistance over top of us. Not as so on the daily, yes, at about 60K, that makes sense. You also have a descending level of resistance here, this trend line that's coming down and right. You have the dynamic reactor That's on top of the price action right now. But if you go to the 4 hour, the one thing you're really not going to like is that we are just having a really hard time breaking the dynamic reactor. And I think Piper actually made a trade off of that. And I want to say it was this second hit. So we had this first one. Look at this selling pressure, right? I always tell you, look at the wicks. They're going to give you a little bit of indication of if there's willing buyers or sellers in that area. You can see right here, it wicked off of it pretty hard, came back up, retested it. And I'm pretty sure Piper took a short. And I want to say that was, you guys talked about that on your trading show, or it may have been a trade setup in the Discord. So that's just a pitch for you guys to come over and check those two things out. There's two ways to get in there. You can either be a member or you can just open up an account on Blowfin, which is completely free. So then you can get all the trade setups and be part of that as well in our Discord. So looking at that, you had a pullback. So I'm gonna hope that his exit was somewhere around this channel, right? Just based on us talking about this channel and how significant that area was. And then of course, look again, a nice wick in that area. So it broke under that, almost like it was kind of like a little bit of a shakeout, a little bit of a fake out. Hey, we're coming underneath this channel again. Oh, oops, I got you. And then it got back up, reestablished. But look, we're getting pinched. And I talked about this earlier in the week. I was like, hey, you have resistance and you have support, kind of a tight area. You might be able to degen and play the bounces between them. Well, that has played out, but really what we're waiting for at this point is a breakout. Okay, so we're getting a squeeze. Now it's time for a breakout. Now, looking at the prime oscillator, when I look at that on the 4 hour at least, you're seeing an indication of an up and right trend. All right. So we've gone up. We got a little reversal here. It came down, but look, it's starting to bend back up, right? You see the orange here starting to pop, and we're starting to bend back up, and we're starting to work up and right as we're going into a retest, showing us a little bit of strength with this retest. All right, so when you get into the 2, the 3, the 4th time that we're retesting an area, I kind of look at it as like chopping a tree a little bit, and a lot of times that tree may fall. Okay, so here we are retesting this area again, and I'm surely not going to go long here. So let's be transparent there. All right. That doesn't mean that price can't go up. That just means that I want to see it break this area before I'm comfortable with taking a long position because we're at resistance. I don't typically take a long position at resistance. So you get over top of that. What I would like to see now, I will be honest. A lot of times when we test this area over and over again, a lot of times once it breaks, you see a very sharp move up. Okay. Preferably, what I would like to see though is that when it breaks, so not that, what I would like to see is that it actually comes down, retests, and then we look for that continuation up. So this is where I would like my entry, and I would like to see the continuation of this trend going up and right. So that's what I'll be looking for personally. So if you're looking at a price point, you're somewhere around 58,200 or so is an area of, we'll say, so opportunity. All right. So keep eye on that. You do want to continue to see that your trend is up and right on the oscillator, but that's what we'll be looking for here. All right. If we come back down, then your area of support is about 56,400. I mean, until we really, do something else besides pogo between these two areas, like, I mean, we could continue to see that price action. I'm gonna say that my bias right now, though, I'm a little bit leaning towards the upside, to be honest with you. So a little contrary to my man Piper. I know he is perma bear right now, but I'm actually looking for a little bit of upside. So that's kind of my take on it. Top side. All right. So if we do break this area, what am I looking for in the top side? I'm looking for about 60K. All right. That's just a horizontal level of resistance that I'll be looking for. Again, that just kind of falls in line. Let's look at the liquidity. Let's go back. Look at that liquidity roll because I remember 58 something, 58.5, I believe. So let's look at that. Yeah, there you go, 58.5. So that'll make sense. All right. You're looking at this. I would say mostly the trend is up and right. If you're just looking at this and taking it all in, I would say if you were going to take an average of it, your average would be a little higher to the right. So that kind of gives me an indication that, we might chase that liquidity to the top side first. All right. So what do we say? 58.5. Oh, geez. I mean, that's easy. So all it's got to do is break. And so if it breaks this resistance, then it's going to clear that liquidity out really, really easy. And then you would see probably a nice move up to 60K relatively, I'd say easy. It's just got to break this resistance. So again, that's kind of what I'm looking for short term. We can zoom out a little bit, look at the daily real quick, see if there's anything too crazy there. You do have the value area low, like I said, resistance, and a lot of confluence in this area around 60K. There's a lot of confluence there. So if it does break, that would be my out. All right, that's where I would get out of the trade is about 60K. Again, this is you got to think of this in terms of scalping or intraday type trading. This is not something I would look for in the long term. It's just something I'm looking for in the short term. All right, looking at that, that about covers Bitcoin. I'm gonna pass it over to FD. I'm gonna let him and bust out some TA for you guys, and then I'm gonna catch up with you guys in the chat here.
Okay, so I was thinking today. I said, okay, what coins really performed well when Bitcoin was going up? Towards the beginning of the year. And Bitcoin Cash, like, a lot of people hate it, but Bitcoin Cash really did good. So this is one of the coins on my radar. It's a Bitcoin proxy play. We have a few, like a nice handful of coins that are Bitcoin proxy plays. So usually once Bitcoin becomes very bullish, these coins become very bullish, and Bitcoin gives you a 2x, these might give you a 4 or 5x. So I'm looking at Bitcoin Cash. I really might start to build a position here, depending on how the market starts to move. So I just really went to this chart and I started building some of my famous trend lines, my astrology for men trend lines, as they like to call it. So we started back here about a year ago in August, and we've been just playing with this upper sloping trend line, like I said, since August of 2023. Came down, touched it multiple times, and then we finally broke beneath it, rather, last week or the beginning of September. But we quickly reclaimed it, and now we are sitting above this trend line. So I need to put this over in the Piper Academy Discord, so you can have this trend line. This is the macro trend line that we need to be watching for Bitcoin Cash. So what I'll be looking for, for the longer term for Bitcoin Cash, if we do start to get an ascension higher, is break above. Well, we need to hold this. We looks like we may be curling around. Let's actually look at some of our indicators and oscillators. This is on a daily time frame. Money flow is starting to curve up. It has been curving up for about a week. RSI is a little bit. RSI is not too high right now on the daily. So what I'm looking for is for us to potentially come back and retest this trend line one more time at about 330, 325 to 330. Make our way up to about 365. So this is a short-term trade that you could take or you can take. It's actually zooming into the hourly. Let's turn those off, make this a little bit bigger. So we popped up, retested it already. We came back down. Looks like we're starting to build some sort of flag. So we may not come back down. It's all predicated on how Bitcoin is moving. So that's sort of like a bull pennant. So usually these do play out in a very bullish, sentiment, when the sentiment is very bullish. But we'll have to look and see what happens right now. So of course, if you're a pattern trader, if you're a breakout trader, you'll be waiting for something like this, pop out, retest, and potentially make our way to about 360 to 370. The macro SR level that I want to see for me to get mega bullish, or for me, if you want to just wait to see what Bitcoin Cash does, because it went all the way up to about, I think it went up to like 750. Let's see, 720. Like now it's at 350, 338. So this is a nice play, in my opinion. If we can possibly use that, pop that up as resistance, we'll probably, play with this super SR flip right here. But if we can manage to get above this 420, 430 level, and use that as support, I think that'll be a good entry level. I think this will mean that the market is healthy and the market is doing good. So I got Bitcoin Cash on my radar, was just on my radar. I think somebody might have mentioned it in the chat, or I've seen it on X when I was just scrolling. So I think this is going to be on my radar along with stacks, those Bitcoin proxy plays. Bitcoin Satoshi's vision didn't really move like that. It did a low okay, but Bitcoin Cash really moves, and that's what I'm trying to cater towards, are the coins that really moved when Bitcoin was moving. So the cycle has showed us its hand. It might, some of the sectors, some of the narratives may change, but the cycle has showed us its hand. So I'm going to play the hand that it showed me, and deal it that way. So Bitcoin Cash is on my radar again. along with Dogecoin. I've been building a position on Dogecoin, so I think I might start building a position on Bitcoin Cash, because I think Bitcoin Cash is another one that might, or that will, stand the test of times. It's been standing the test of time. So I'm looking to really buy coins to hold my portfolio strong, if we do get massive market dips, as opposed to just going with these newer coins and these meme coins that have been falling, 80, 90%. So Bitcoin Cash is on my radar. So I'll be looking at these levels.
Right on, right on. All right, let's come on back to mine here. Uh-oh. Looks like
I
lost you.
got to try plug my computer in. Give me 1 second.
Okay, all good. See, this is why I put your little picture there. All right, it's like we lost you, but we didn't. All right. Cool. I got Soul up. We're looking at that on the 4 hour. I was giving you guys a pretty key level at about 128, especially on the daily. Let's actually go look at the daily here. And we'll stay on the 4 hour. No biggie. All right. So 128 was a pretty key level for me, right? Just coming back left. It was a horizontal level, and it's been an area of support, right? You haven't really been getting any daily closes under 128, only wicks. No daily closes under 128. And it's a horizontal level that's been going back all the way to, we'll say about March, right? So similar to Bitcoin, it had its breakout in February. Sol followed suit in March, and then it established a range. And I told you when I was looking at this last week on the morning show, I was like, hey, this looks better than Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin kind of had a descending channel. It's coming down and right. Solana is like, it's been a horizontal level of support. Like it has not developed a down and right pattern yet here, or trend, we'll say. So 128 was a super important area. Wicks down to 121 is what I was looking at. Sounds like your noise canceling is banana land right now. So it it came down. We got a wick off 121. And then look, we came up, we retested. So we made sure that we were going to make support out of 128. So a lot of times when I'm saying, hey, let's look for this OC retest, these are the ones that I like to see, right? So it comes up, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. I'll come up, retest, and then it makes it move. It makes its move up and right. So when I'm saying, hey, like, let's look for that, this is what I'm looking for, essentially, is that it gets on top and it flips resistance into support, which it really didn't stay underneath of that very long. So flipped it. You got the trend up and right, right? That's the other thing you're looking for there. All right, you got that trend up and right. So this is a good way we can kind of take, let's go back. Let's look at it. We had key levels that we were looking at, and then we got an OC retest, and then we had the up and right movement of the oscillator, right? And this right here is just screaming like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, right? There's all kinds of stuff. You had bullish divergence, you had the reversals, you had oversold. All of it was screaming, look at me at a minimum. And then you have this descending channel, right? Look at how beautiful this retest of this channel is. Now, shout out to Chart Prime here. Gives you this descending channel. It gives you the breakout, right? Pattern break tells you. And then look at this. It pumped up. So it's giving you a smart target. Now, I've talked about these smart targets. I love them. But at the same time, if you have a significant area of resistance or support that's correlated or close to that smart target, use the area of support or resistance first. All right, that's my own 2 cents. I have noticed that it seems the smart target gets it really, really close. All right, it gives you the warm and fuzzy, like we're headed towards an area, but sometimes it just can't make it through the dynamic reactor because that thing holds up quite often, right? And then you might have a horizontal level of support and resistance. So for me personally, that's my way to play it. Like, all right, cool. I see where the smart target is. I'm not going to play it all the way up to the smart target, but the dynamic reactor would probably be the out. So comes up the dynamic reactor, gets a rejection, but what do we get? Look at this beautiful retest of the channel. So this channel right here, when you're looking at this line, that line is resistance, but we got the OC retest. All right, so here we go. We're talking about the OC retest again. Comes down, retest, and then it gets that continuation up and right. Now, what are we looking at here? So let's start, looking back here and let's say, okay, we're working up, and then same thing. Now, this would be probably a little bit harder in terms of saying like, all right, do we have that movement up and right? We do still have it, but look, it took a little bit of time for it to develop. You probably have to go to a lower time frame to see if this part of the oscillator, basically it's a RSI, uh, it's an algorithmic like RSI, right? So it would be a little bit harder to see that this is actually bending up so that you can actually truly establish that up and right trajectory there. But again, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And I just lost a light, but looks like we're still good. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to look at on Sol. Again, 128 is kind of your, line in the sand here for support. You don't want to see a daily close underneath of that. If it does fall back down there, don't be scared to add to your bags at 128. Not financial advice. Got to say that. But if we break, you need some topside targets, right? Well, we got the point of control for the entire range sitting up at about 144. And you can see when you zoom out, and let's take a look at it. You can see here, look at the support and resistance, all right? So it is an area of price action that has been respecting over and over again. Not saying it's the line in the sand in terms of like holding price action up or down, but you will see price action off of that area. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I would be willing to bet, I'm a betting man, that if we break, we see an initial rejection with a retest before we actually see a break. So that's probably what I would look for personally. And then once it does break, man, 162, you can see how clear that one is. All right, 162 right here. Let me see if I can move the chart down a little bit without drawing. There you go. So right here, 162. I mean, if you're taking a swing trade off of 128, then 162 would be the area I'd be looking for personally. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there for Sol. That's all on the 4-hour chart, of course. FD, you got anything else you want to look at?
Yeah, I just want to just we was talking about this yesterday for Ethereum. So whenever we came down to this level at about 2100, oh, I'm sorry, let me actually do this really quick. There we go. So every time we came down to this level, ever since like January of 2022, we've been, it's been a good area to buy. When we lost it, convincingly and held it as resistance, then, we held it, we stayed below there for a nice significant amount of time. But then once we popped back over it, that was like the bear market. But then since we popped back over it, this was at the end of December. Every time we've come down to this area, this has been a buy zone for Ethereum. So it seems like we're holding this level. I think Alex talked about this level in the chat yesterday or the day before. So this is one of the levels that I'm looking at for Ethereum to catch, maybe swing longs and, add to my bag for Ethereum, this $2,100 level. We came down again over here a few days ago, daily support, money flow coming up, bullish divergences on the prime oscillators on the cipher Bs. So it was just one of those things where we had major, double confluence here, and this has just acted as a major support and resistance level. So 2100 has been a prime level for Ethereum. If we keep coming down there and holding that as support, I think that's a good area for people to maybe set some limit orders down there if you think it could come back down. So I'm just putting that level on everybody's radar. We talked about it a couple of days ago, but if you missed those shows, 2100 has acted as major support for Ethereum. So I think I'm going to set put about maybe a 250 to $500 limit order down there, possibly add to my Ethereum bag because it just looks like a juicy area to buy.
Okay, right on. That's a good little spot to look at. Hey, I got to give a little shout out here.
Yeah.
My little dude is in the chat. Cole 8. That is my dude. So just want to say what's up to him. Love you, buddy. And let's see here. So Caspa looking strong, says Flat Smack. Let's take a look at Caspa real quick. And this is gonna be the last little bit of TA we do here. So scrolling. 16. Oh yeah, that's a nice move. Let me go ahead and turn this off here and go over to the charts. Cool. All right. Looking at the charts here for Caspa, it did get as low as what, about 14, probably high 13s. I thought I saw it at one point there. So 14 cents, and we got a nice little bounce. And so looking at this, coming back left on the charts, you can see a little bit if you were to take a horizontal level. But honestly, I'm going to be transparent with you. I was looking for something a little bit lower. I think I was looking for it to come down to the 382, where we had this wick here. And that is just based on kind of the stair step it's been taking. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit. Let's look at it on the daily to make it. There you go. Goodness gracious. All right. So looking at it here, we've talked about Caspa before. This is a great looking chart. This is a bullish looking chart. I know Retro Mike's not a big fan of the Caspa, but in terms of price action, this is a very bullish looking chart. And why do I say that? Look at the way it just stair steps. And you guys have heard me talk about this before. Came down to the golden pocket here, 618. Nice wick off of that. Nice wick. So there's obvious buying pressure in that area. Comes up, sets a high, comes down to 0.5, comes up, sets a high, sets another high, sets another high. So you got a nice series of higher highs there, and then comes down, wicks off the 382. So it's like just stair stepping. And now we're over the dynamic reactor, right? We're reestablishing ourselves over the dynamic reactor as well as the 0.236. So now, is this that spot that like, hey, we set that next high and then we pull back again? I mean, if the market continues to trend up and right, or if you have consolidation with Bitcoin, the opportunity is there. I will tell you, typically when I see something set an all-time high, that's usually my exit. But Caspa's kind of like a growing project, right? Like it's not something that's been well established for a long time. Um, and it has some buzz behind it for sure. There's a lot of people that are very bullish on Caspa, except for Retro Mike. I know that Crux is super bullish on Caspa. I got a mining rig, which slapped me in the face. That didn't work out for me too well, but I'm going to continue to accumulate. Why not? And if Caspa ends up going up in price, I'm going to have a lot of Caspa in the bag at some point. So hopefully it does continue to go up and right, because I need it to make some of that money back. But yeah, looking at Caspa, what am I seeing here? You're over the 0.236, you're over the dynamic reactor, all good things, right? And so you want to be reestablished over that. So kind of you want to hold that level. You want to hold that level about 16 cents flat. And then you could look for some upside here as high. I mean, the all-time high is at what, 20 cents? So don't be surprised if you do see it try to make a move up. Let's go ahead and look at the oscillator though on the daily and see what we're seeing, because what you don't want to see is that you get almost like a double top type formation. Like you don't want to see, okay, we have an all-time high and then it comes over and it resets. And then you see that the oscillator bends over early, right? So this looks like that. And then you see this kind of down and right trend with a retest of this area here. All right. So that would be one thing I'd keep an eye on. I would say right now and continue like where it's at right now, it looks like we got like a true reset of the oscillator. I don't know that that's going to be an issue, to be honest. I think if it does push back up to that area, you're going to see something more similar where you have kind of a horizontal level here on the oscillators. So, but high side targets, you got to look at about 20 cents just based on the chart, right? It's up, down, up, down, up, down, boom. I mean, that's what the chart is showing us. I mean, there's no real denying that. And until that changes, then that is it. That's the pattern. Look at that. It's a channel up and right, and that's what it's doing, going up and right. So that being said, usually when you have an ascending channel that's going up and right, it's actually not always a great thing. A lot of times you'll see it break out to the downside, vice the upside. But I don't know. I'm still bullish on Caspa. Long story short. Ramble. I like Caspa. So that's what I got. FD White. What you got, man? You got anything else?
Man, quick. Oh yeah, quick. We gotta touch Nvidia. This is just quick. I'm keeping Nvidia on my radar. I'm trying to incorporate a lot more stock analysis into my thesis and whatnot. So we talked about this last week, I think it was, or the end of last week. We said if Nvidia gets to breaks 100, then it's going to be problems all around for the stock market, crypto. So we came down to $100.86 and held the line. We held the line perfectly right here. So what happened today? Went up about 8%. I'm not sure what happened after hours, but now what it's looking like is we're breaking back into this area here at about 116, 117, which we could potentially come up to about 125, 126, and still be creating a lower high on the market. So even though Nvidia had a nice move today, we probably will eventually this week go up to about 125, 126. But you see this downward sloping trend line, this will still be lower highs. and I'm still looking for us to potentially just range until we get some sort of clear direction in the market. And if Nvidia seems to break out and takes out this high here at about 130, and then takes out 135, I think the overall markets, not just the stock market, I think crypto as well will take a little bit from it and do well also. So I'm keeping my eye out on Nvidia. I feel like Nvidia is giving me signs, is giving me like the precursor or the signs of how the economy or how the markets, because the markets and the economy are not the same, obviously, but it's giving me a nice look into how the markets are doing. And if we do seem to break that $100 level, I am bullish on Nvidia long term. So I think 90 and 75 is the areas that I'll start to look to buy some Nvidia. If we start getting to 75, then we're probably in a recession. So that's one of my recession indicators too. Nvidia at 75, it's a lot of headwinds to come for the next few months. But right now we're holding that 100. As long as we're holding that $100 level, I think all is okay for now.
Right on, right on. So Wick589 gave us a super chat for $2. DJT stock, fellas. So that's the Trump Media and Technology. Just make sure that that is what you're talking about. There is a DJT crypto as well. So I do think you're talking about the one on NASDAQ. And to be honest, that thing is getting its butt whooped. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. Since you sent a super chat, I got you, dog. I know I said we weren't going to do any more, but this is for you. All right. So looking at it, it is it's ugly, man. I got to be honest with you. You do have some hopium here with a little bit of a trend reversal on the daily. And really this is going to be based off a lot of news, man. This one moves with news. So, you can do a lot of the TA if you want, but really what it comes down to is if you get bullish news for Trump, that's just one of those things that moves the stock. Like, and I've seen it before. A lot of these moves correlate with news about Trump. All right, so it is what it is. But let's take a look at it here. Man, that thing has had a rough go of it here. But looking at that, let's zoom out a little bit. We're gonna do this live and in color, right? All right, so things that we don't like. You're seeing the trend is down and right. You're seeing that the dynamic reactor is on the top side. It is red, showing that we're working our way down, obviously. But hopium is, if you're looking at this range, right? This is where a lot of the price action is right in this range, anywhere between about 12 and we'll call it about $18, $19. All right. So that's kind of your range where probably a lot of the volume is down here, where it's just kind of like sitting. So there's, I would say, probably some opportunity for this to actually get a bounce. But, you know, this is on the backside of a debate that was a little iffy for the big guy. I don't know that it was well received. And so that's probably why you're getting this little, let's see, well, this was yesterday. So it actually looks like it moved up a little bit today. That's tough, dude. I don't know. Are you already invested in this? Like, I don't know that it's something I would invest in right now. You got to break this range. Like, I mean, at a minimum, you're gonna have to get over 18.6 before I would even really think about taking a long position, which is crazy to think about, right? Because it's a what kind of move is that to 18? That's about a 10% move, 12% move. But I wouldn't feel comfortable taking a long position here. Now, if news comes out about the orange man that is positive, then that changes everything, right? This is one of those times where you turn your notifications on and you're like, hey, like if news drops, this is one of those ones you could probably jump on. But the chart's too ugly for me right now. Let me see. Let me look at the chat. Help me
So
out
yeah,
here. Is he in this
it's a
position?
ugly chart, man. But it's one of the things. Maybe if he's in or out, I'm not sure if he's in, like you said. But if Trump does win and you are ahead of the herd, the herd is going to come in. The money is going to pour in if he wins. So if he's ahead of the herd, maybe he has that type of mind frame. It's a risky endeavor, but You
It's
know,
yeah, it's a
it'll
gamble.
pay off because it's a gamble. It's definitely a gamble.
It's a
Yeah.
gamble, right? Like you got a 50-50 shot. If you're looking at the polls and stuff like that, there's it's about 50-50 right now. Um, and if he doesn't get in, this thing's gonna just dump. Like it's already dumped, but it's really gonna dump. So that could be that could suck. So I mean personally, man, like I would wait. Look at that chart. I'm not buying that LOL. All right, cool. Well, that's good. That's good. So we've looked at it now. My recommendation, not financial advice, do your own research, yada yada yada, influencer, yada yada, yada, yada yada. I wouldn't get into this one right now. I would wait till he wins. This thing will pump. It will definitely pump if he wins. And you take a quick long position and then you just figure out, where do you want to get out? And I would probably look at something like the dynamic reactor. So and I don't even it's held up pretty well on the downtrend there. So yeah, you could look for something like that with a retest. But yeah, dude, that's my own 2 cents on that one. Nothing too crazy here. Retro Mike Tech, what's up, my dude? Hope all is well. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see who else we got in here. Dave Roy, how you doing? Hope all is well with you. And let's see, total Redman said the total crypto market cap is down 1.2%, but your crypto going up equals bullish. Hey man, I'm saying, but that 2 trillion mark is kind of it's an important like psychological number, right? So if it gets under that 2 trillion mark, then it could get a little bit weird. I've seen that with the 1 trillion, right? The 1 trillion area was like resistance for a long time, and it was rejecting off of that area. So now it looks like the 2 trillion area is kind of holding up as support. That being said, though, like you could see a shift. You could see a shift sometimes, like Bitcoin dominance, if that pumps up, then you can see altcoins kind of pull back, yet still maintaining, that market cap. So here nor there. Yeah, it's always something to keep an eye on. I'd say the DXY is something really to keep an eye on. Shit, whatever. We're going long, folks. It's happening. So let's go ahead and look at the DXY real quick. Let's look at it. Yeah, that's what I thought. So this was like my key area, right? You can see, like, look at all the hits here, support and resistance in this area right here. Now, this area I've had on the chart for ages because look, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4. Really, that's 5, 6, 7 hits off of about the 100 range, right? And that's, again, I love big round psychological numbers, so I was confident in getting a bounce there. But what's the correlation here between price action and DXY? Usually it's inverse. Now it's not always inverse, all right. And I have seen them move together, especially in a bear market. I saw them both falling at the same time, and sometimes they can move to the upside at the same time. But that being said, there is a loose correlation, and more times than not, the movement that you see on the DXY will open up an opportunity for Bitcoin to move in the inverse direction. All right. So what are we looking at right now? We're looking at resistance. So DXY. What does that mean for Bitcoin? Well, if we get rejected right here, and you see this move back down, it loses strength, which I don't know that it will based on the data that we just got. But if it loses strength, what does that do? It opens up the opportunity for Bitcoin to actually move up. So we're sitting at resistance. DXY sitting at resistance. Who's going to win this battle? Because if we see a rejection on DXY, then we can see that move for Bitcoin going up through its resistance. And then it goes up to that 60K area that I was talking about. So keep an eye on it. Definitely, it's something I always kind of keep in my scan, especially when we get to significant areas, this being one of them. And then up here as well, you can see where I have all these lines. But there's always kind of a line that I really, really pay attention to. It's a high kind of action area where you see significant areas of support and resistance. And then when we make big moves up, then you'll see that kind of correlate to some of the Bitcoin price action. So this one was clear. Got down. We got the OC retest. I love doing this. So OC retest right there. Boom. Breakdown. All right. So keep eye on that. Cool. That's what I'm looking at. DXY, again, line in the sand there is about 100. 102. You're probably going to find some resistance for the DXY as well. Even though I don't know it necessarily acts that way. It just seems to work out that way on the DXY. FD, what's up, man? You got anything?
No, everything looks good, man. I was looking at the DXY as well. I know at the beginning of 2024, the DXY was going up as well as Bitcoin. Then DXY got a little rejection, and Bitcoin really started to move up into March, and then DXY started to go up again, and then we got a little slowdown. So usually, like you said, it's inversely correlated, but there are times when they both move at the same time. But if the DXY is going down and Bitcoin is going up, it's just, Bitcoin will move up a lot faster than if they're both going up at the same time. But they can go up at the same time, which has been proven, at the beginning of the year if you go and look at the chart.
Yeah. And so I think you said something about February, right? So this right here, looking at February to March, what do we just look at on Bitcoin? When did it enter into its ranges? The ranges that it's currently established in February and March, right? February for Bitcoin, March for Solana. So look at the DXY. DXY is making a move down. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. A lot of times you'll see that inverse correlation. Now, sometimes it moves at the same time, so you can't use one as like a precursor to the other. But there are times that you can. You just gotta kind of watch the market. When we're in the bear market, I was watching the Nasdaq, and I was watching the Nasdaq because it was actually a leading indicator for Bitcoin in the bear market. There was definitely some days where I was like, "Ooh, I see this for Nasdaq. It's coming up. It's gonna get rejected." And sure enough, it got rejected. And then Bitcoin's like, like I'm just following along, and that dumped. And then all of a sudden, Bitcoin's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna follow." So I definitely made that trade a few times in the bear market, and it was a lot of it, I was using the Nasdaq because they were so tightly correlated in the bear market. But it's completely diverged now. So ever since I want to say January of 2023, January 2023 is when it split. Like it's really not as valid anymore. But something to look at. Those are the things where like you just got to keep analyzing the charts and always look for some kind of confluence or things that kind of gel or move in the same direction or opposite directions, and see if you can use that to your advantage, right? Because all we're doing right now is just taking statistics and probabilities and trying to put them in our favor, and hoping for the best, right? So that's but yeah, I don't know, man. That's what I got. What's up, man?
Yesterday's analysis may not be today's analysis. Always, be willing to pivot, man. That's the key to a good trader and a good investor, man.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your little saying you got? It's something about being prepared. What is it?
Oh yeah, preparation over predictions, man. Always.
Preparation over
Got wrecked.
predictions.
I got wrecked.
There
Well,
it is.
not even wrecked. I just lost a lot of leeway trying to predict. Not really catching bottoms like I should have. Should have stuck to my plan. Trying to predict recessions, trying to predict depressions, trying to predict price movements and price points. It didn't work. It didn't work. So I just want to be prepared for any scenario going forward. So that's why I'm always in tune to the market and always fluid in these markets.
Yeah, right on. Hey, Mark, good night, man. Hope you have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. Red Man, he said, great show, fellas. Thank you very much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the charts, the alpha, the analysis, and just hanging out, man. Sometimes we go off the deep end. We just start chatting it up. But that's kind of what we do around here. So hope all of you guys have a really good night. And we're gonna wrap it up here. After you got anything for the people on the way out?
Oh no, man. One more day. Tomorrow we'll try to get you nice and in tune for the weekend, and everybody have a good night.
Awesome. All right. If you guys enjoyed it, as always, please like and subscribe. We would definitely appreciate that. Go ahead and hit that little thumbs up button. And yeah, we're going to get out of here. We will see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good night and trade safe and take it easy. We're out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never see me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.